Now, here's what happens with President Walker, whose state, by the way, is a disaster, but I won't say that. Here's what happens, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. Something happened today which was not nice. Or President Bush, or President Hillary Clinton. I'll just tell you, so I'm on the plane, and I see this vicious tweet, because I've been nice to Scott Walker. And, he's a nice guy. He came up to my office like 3-4 months ago, presented me with a plaque, because I helped him with his election. I liked that he was fighting. At least I didn't know what the hell he was doing, but he was fighting, and I like a fighter. Does that make sense? So I've been very nice to him, but he brings me this beautiful plaque. I don't know who pays for it. Does he pay for that, or does Wisconsin pay for it? I don't know. But it's beautiful. And I'm being very nice to him. And then today I read this horrible statement from his fundraiser about Trump. I said, oh, finally I can attack. Finally. Finally. I would have never done this. I didn't know. Because I hear the only one beating me in Iowa is Scott Walker, and not by that much. And he grew up next door. I mean, he's like right next door. A little advantage, right? Except Wisconsin's doing terribly. It's first of all, it's in turmoil. The roads are a disaster because they don't have any money to rebuild them. They're borrowing money like crazy. They projected a $1 billion surplus. And instead of a $1 billion, I wrote this stuff all down. Although I don't need it because I have a really good memory. But they projected a $1 billion surplus. And it turns out to be a deficit of $2.2 billion. And money all over the place. The schools are a disaster, and they're fighting like crazy because there's no money for the schools. The hospitals and education is a disaster. And he was totally in favor of Common Core. Did you know that? He was totally in favor of, and which I hate. You got to educate your children from Iowa, not some bureaucrat in Washington making $100,000. I mean, there's something that to me I don't get. I mean, Bush is totally in favor of Common Core. Now, with Bush, I'll give him one thing. He stuck with it. In a way, I'd rather have him stick with it. Because he stuck with it. He's still in favor. Scott Walker changed when he saw he was getting creamed. So he changed. So now he's not in favor. But he was strongly in favor of Common Core. And their interest, they borrowed so much money that a big portion of their budget now is paying for it. So what he's doing is kicking it down the road. And he's the only guy that's ahead of me. And I can't believe I'm in second place. I'm in second place to Iowa. But he is next door. But folks, will you please put me in first place so I feel better?